enjoy the ride with Crystal Petry, consulted, so inspiring. Wishing you to.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of 60 Minutes With. I'm your host, Crystal Petry. Today, we are going to learn about Alzheimer's. And as my audience, you know that my platform and everything that I do on this podcast is all about education. And today, we will be educated about Alzheimer's, but also we're going to be educated on how you and I can help with the fight with Alzheimer's. And today, to educate us, Shanna Briggs. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I am so good. Thank you so much for joining the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
I'm excited about this because I hear about Alzheimer's more so now than I did before. I believe that, and it could just be me, I didn't start hearing about Alzheimer's until President Reagan passed away from it. And then I started kind of hearing a little bit about it, just kind of in the background. But before then, I don't think I ever heard about Alzheimer's.
Right, it's like one of those diseases that a lot of times people want to cover up and not talk about. So here at the Alzheimer's Association, we are trying so hard to have a voice and get out to our communities and educate people. So that's what we want to do.
Why do you think people want to cover it up?
It's just a stigma, you know. We don't want to see our loved ones not remembering us or not knowing how to do things. You know, a lot of these people are, the matriarchs of our family and have, this big presence. And to see them deteriorate is not what we want to see and not want to talk about. So I think for so long, people were covering up or just not admitting it. And so now, it's okay to talk about it.
Yes. And I feel like it's one of those situations where if I don't talk about it, if I don't acknowledge it, then it's not real and it doesn't exist.
Right.
Especially, when it's your mom or your dad or grandma or grandpa or something, you don't want to acknowledge that, just like you said.
Right.
So you are the regional manager of the Alzheimer's Association for Houston and Southeast Texas.
Right.
That is a mouthful. So tell me exactly what it is that you do.
Okay, so I'm a part of the Houston and Southeast Texas chapter. I represent our Houston chapter here in Southeast Texas. So we are located here in Beaumont, but we service all of, the Golden Triangle area. So we put on educational programs for churches, civic organization, businesses. We offer information for people to get help. We have caregiver support groups that meet once a month. So we are here just to help, our community.
And can you tell me what is Alzheimer's?
Yes. So I'm going to refer to my notes because
Please
like
do.
I told you before, I'm not a doctor and I want to make sure you get the right information.
Thank you.
So Alzheimer's is a type of dementia that affects memory, thinking, and behavior. Symptoms eventually grow severe enough to interfere with your daily task. And a lot of people do get confused when we say Alzheimer's and dementia.
Right.
And so I want to clear that up for you. So we usually typically say that dementia is like the big umbrella.
Okay.
So Alzheimer's is just the most common form of dementia.
Okay.
And there's other forms. There's like, there's many, many different forms of dementia, but like I said, Alzheimer's is the most common form.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's vascular dementia, there's frontal lobe dementia, there's Lewy body, and there's a whole other slew of them.
Okay, so we have dementia up here,
Yes.
and then coming down from that kind of is
Right.
Alzheimer's.
Just like you would say someone has heart disease. Well, what specific one do they
Right.
have?
Right. Okay. Okay. I completely understand
Yeah.
that. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for that. I know that Alzheimer's touches everyone. Is there a particular population of people that see Alzheimer's more in that population than maybe other populations?
Well, for and foremost, age is the one thing that is commonly seen. More of our older generation will, eventually develop Alzheimer's or a form of dementia. We also have a greater population of African Americans, Hispanics, and also women.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know why that is? Why is it African American, Hispanic, and women that see more cases of it?
That's a great question. People can speculate. It could be, not as education, it might be a factor, environmental, where you live. It's just like one of those things that they've just kind of tracked those groups of people, but not sure exactly what pinpoints, why.
Now, with Alzheimer's, do you think, and of course you're not a medical doctor, but just in your experienced opinion, that everyone that gets older, like 80, 90, 100, if we're blessed to see that age, will develop Alzheimer's?
No,
Oh,
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, because it's a disease. It's a brain disease. So not everybody's going to get it. It's just like, yes, we're all going to grow old and we're going to, have some deterioration in our bodies, but not everybody's going to get Alzheimer's.
Okay. Now, as I was researching for this podcast, I noticed that they're starting to see Alzheimer's in younger people.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
Yeah, so it's, they call it early onset, and I do have some information about that.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, we call it early onset Alzheimer's, and it affects people younger than 65. And younger onset is much less common in prevalence among more than 6 million Americans living with Alzheimer's and certain. Like I said again, we don't know exactly why, but it's in all age groups of people. Not all, but not, like kids or anything.
Right.
But we do see more of the early onset, and of course that's where they need to seek help and hopefully get some treatments.
Is there a cure for Alzheimer's?
No, there's not.
Okay.
Not cured yet, but we're, that's what we're hoping and striving for, and hopefully we'll see that soon.
Perfect. Is there a medication that perhaps can be taken to maybe lessen the effects of Alzheimer's, or maybe slow down the deterioration of the brain?
Right. Just recently, the FDA has approved 2 drug treatments.
Okay.
And like I said before, you have to get diagnosed early on. And the 2 drugs are aducanumab and lecanemab. And they are an IV treatment. And either your primary care physician or neurologist can help you navigate through that. But they're seeing, like a decrease in the progression of the disease while they're on this drug.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's very promising right now.
Yes.
In our research development right now. So we just want people to take advantage of it if they can.
Absolutely. As I stated earlier in the podcast, you're the regional manager. So 2 questions here. How long have you worked within this career field of Alzheimer's, and why did you choose to work in this field?
So I've been with the association for 4.5 years. It's very personal to me. I lost my mother 10 years ago to a very rare form of dementia called corticobasal gangliotic degeneration.
Okay.
So it was like having Alzheimer's and Parkinson's at the same time. And she was one of the young ones. She was diagnosed at 56 and had it for 7 years, and passed away when she was 63. And my father and I were her caregivers, so it was a very hard time. I was in my 30s. They call it sandwich parenting, when you're taking care of your kids and then a parent. And, we saw firsthand what it takes to be a caregiver and how this disease is affecting everybody in the family. So when this job came open, I just said, this is something that I just need to do. And, I think God just kind of presented to me that this is something that is in my heart, and that I need to do to help others.
Right. What does, if someone has Alzheimer's, what does that look like and what does that sound like?
Well, I mean, there's not really a set roadmap for everybody. Everybody can take it on in different forms. But most commonly, people do forget what they're hard for them to find words in conversations. They might repeat themselves. Everybody's a little different.
Okay. And what are some early warning signs of Alzheimer's?
That's a great question. We do have what we call our 10 warning signs.
Okay.
One is memory loss that disrupts your life, daily life. Forgetting where your keys are, forgetting someone's name. Also challenges in planning or solving problems. Like maybe once you were, you balance a checkbook and then all of a sudden you just can't even remember how to do math. Difficulty completing familiar tasks, washing the dishes, turning on the dishwasher, those sort of things. Confusion with time or place. We see this a lot in people not knowing, it might be time for breakfast or, forgot that they already ate breakfast, Trouble understanding visual images and spatial relationships. A lot of times, people with this disease, it's hard for them with their balance because they might see a black doormat and think that it's like a black hole. So it's hard for them to have that spatial relationships. Also, one of the signs is new problems with words and speaking and writing. I would see my mother's handwriting. She would have extra loops, and she had beautiful handwriting. But I would see extra loops in her, her words, and I just thought that was kind of strange. So I picked up on that early on. Okay. Misplacing things and losing ability to retrace your steps. We all kind of go through the room and think, why did I come in here?
Yes.
But eventually you're going to remember, and I always say a lot of times we forget people's names or, something just can't grasp someone's name or a place that you visited, but then maybe an hour or two later it comes back to you.
Yes.
So that's totally normal. We all will go through that. But if you forget how to drive home, that's not normal.
Okay.
Just a few others, decrease in poor judgment, withdrawal from work and social activities, and changes in mood and personality. So those are our 10 warning signs.
Okay. Now, one of the last ones you talked about was sounded like social isolation to me. So is that something that is prevalent with people with Alzheimer's, the social isolation, withdrawing from other people for one part of it, but having other people withdraw from you?
I would think so. Yeah, I can remember my parents, they were very active with their friend groups and stuff, and they started not attending, dinners and things like that. But I think it was just to protect my mother because she had problems speaking, and and they, like we said before, they didn't share that with them yet. They were keeping that close to their hearts and not sharing that with their friends. So they were withdrawing from them. And then, of course, you probably do have some people that it's hard for them to know what to say or how to act. And so they just avoid, those people altogether, which is very sad.
And for those people, for the people that not ill will at all, they just don't know what to say or how to bring it up or even how to act around someone with Alzheimer's, what would be your advice for them?
Everybody needs love. And I think that's the best thing you can show somebody is love. You don't want to question them like, who am I? Do you know who I am? You don't want to put them on the spot like that. You might say, hey friend, I'm your best friend and I'm so glad to see you. I hope you have a great day. We just want to shower them with love.
Okay. Is there a life expectancy for someone once they have been diagnosed, given the medical diagnosis with Alzheimer's, that, okay, we expect for you to live 10 years or 15 years or 2 years? Is there like a life expectancy?
And like I said, everybody's different, but the average life expectancy is about 8 to 10 years. And then, but there are people that live with it for 20 years. You just don't know.
Okay. Now, as the regional manager of the Alzheimer's Association, does this organization, I know it covers Houston and Southeast Texas, does the organization, let me see how to phrase this, is the organization's mission to fight to end Alzheimer's or fight to help Alzheimer's? You understand the question? Okay.
Yeah, so we are, worldwide. Our chapter's just here in Southeast Texas, but yes,
Okay.
our mission is to help end Alzheimer's.
Okay. And what are some of the tangible things that your organization does?
So, like I said before, first and foremost, we have our care and support line. It's an 800 number, 800-272-3900. Someone can call 24/7, any day of the week, on a holiday, and you can speak with a care provider that can assist you in any questions that you might have. You might call and say, how can I take the keys away from my father? Or what is the next step in the progression of the disease? Or help me find a care facility in my area. And they can, walk you through those steps and get you the right resources.
That number is for the caregiver.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Any family member that wants to call and get more information, they can use that number.
Okay.
Other things that we have here locally, we have our caregiver support group. They meet the second Thursday of each month in the evening. And that's an hour that caregivers can come together, and we have a trained facilitator that will help with the meetings. And they come together just to kind of share stories, gather more information, see where they can problem solve in their situations at home. So it's very beneficial to those caregivers to get that hour break and kind of come together and just see what they can learn from each other.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's okay. And another arm of what we do is we do a lot of fundraising here in our area. We have two major fundraisers that we have: our Walk to End Alzheimer's, which is in the fall, and then in the spring we have what we call our Family Portrait Luncheon. And both of those events, we strive to raise money that we can dedicate to service, research, to hopefully find a cure, and to help our people here locally.
And that leads directly into my next question. Tell me about the Walk to End Alzheimer's. When I was reading about it, it stated that walk is one of the largest walks, fundraising efforts to end Alzheimer's in the country.
Yes, it is.
Did you know that?
Yes,
I
it
was
is.
amazed at that.
Yes, there's over 600 walks nationwide. We call it our walk season. So it's typically from like the end of September through November, and it's a great event for everybody who's been affected by the disease to come out, and we feel each other's love, and it's really a special time. We have 4 colored flowers, pinwheel flowers, that everybody carries during the walk, and they all have significant meaning for their colors. People will hold the purple flower if they've lost someone to Alzheimer's or dementia. You can hold a yellow flower if you're a caregiver. An orange flower is if you're just supporting the cause, and a blue flower is if you have Alzheimer's dementia. So we have a really special ceremony at the beginning before our walk starts, where we have representatives holding those flowers, and then everybody can go to our promise garden, pick up a flower, and walk with those flowers throughout the walk. So it's really, a special time for us to come together and support each other.
How can people sign up or be a part of the walk? Couple questions here. How can they sign up and be a part of the walk? Is the walk just for this area, the Houston, Southeast Texas area? And do you have to pay to be a part of that walk?
Yeah. So, we just had our walk October the 7th, so we've just passed our walk. So again, we'll have it again in October the 5th at the event center.
And that's in 2024, right?
2024.
Okay.
And our walk website will open up in January. And it's the same website every year. It's act.alz.org/Beaumont. And the Beaumont Walk is just for our area. And then, there's one, from our chapter, we have 10 walks. So there's Galveston, Houston, Katy, Fort Bend, Brazos Valley, the Woodlands, Nacogdoches, Lufkin, and Beaumont. So those are the walks that we all service. And then, of course, there's walks nationwide. So to answer your question about the fee, there's no registration fee to walk. So you can go to our website, sign up, and register a team. We'd like for you to have a team and a great team name. Everybody has like a fun name that they, walking for, your loved one. My mother's her name was Janie, so I call my walk teams Janie's Jubilee.
Oh,
so
good.
yeah, so I'm trying to celebrate her, and if you raise $100, you get a walk T-shirt to wear at the walk.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's incentive prizes as you increase your fundraising.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
How long has this walk been going on?
Oh, I really don't know a definite date or how many years. I know over 10 years, so it's been going on for quite a while.
And how long is the walk?
So here in Beaumont, we have 2 routes. We have a 1 mile route and a 3 mile route. So you can choose which one you want to do. And we have people that come and don't even walk. They can, we have an area, a tailgate area where people can sit down and just kind of enjoy the music and people, at their sponsorship booths and, just kind of enjoy the day.
Oh, I love the tailgate part of it.
Yeah.
I've never heard of something like that with like a walk to, raise awareness or fundraising. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So with the walk that you guys just completed in October of 2023, you raised, it's amazing, over $169,000.
Yeah. As of today, we've raised $181,000. Yes, and my goal was 175, so I've surpassed my goal.
Yes.
And we do collect through the end of this calendar year.
Okay, so people do they go to the website if they want to continue to donate?
Yes, absolutely. They can still go to our website and donate.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What happens with that money? Does it stay in the Houston, Southeast Texas area? Does it go to other Alzheimer's associations? So what happens with the fundraising money?
Right, that's a great question. Like I said, a portion of it will go to our research. So we want to fund our research and let those people do their hard work so we can move forward in that direction. And then, of course, a portion of it will stay here to support our caregiver support groups, and then those who are going out in the public to educate with our educational programs.
Okay. Now, I know we were talking about it at the beginning of the podcast that a lot of people don't talk about it. For the people that do talk about it, is there a large number of people living in the Southeast Texas area that has Alzheimer's?
I mean, I would say from our attendance at our walks, absolutely.
Okay.
We don't have, a really calculated number for that, but our walk has been growing every year. We had over 2,000 people that attended this year.
Is that the most it's been?
Yes. It keeps increasing, and I think it's just because we're getting out and talking more with people and getting education out.
Why do you think people should care about this cause? And I'm specifically talking about people maybe who hasn't been affected by it. Their parents don't have it or grandparents don't have it. But why should people, just your average person, care about this cause?
Well, we are living longer, and so we should be concerned about that. That's all we see, an increase of this disease each year. And you might not know somebody today, but tomorrow you will. You're going to know, somebody, if it's not a loved one, it might be a friend who has a loved one. And like I said before, it really does affect the entire family.
Yes. Is there something that people can do like now, like our age, if you will, that can prevent them from getting Alzheimer's as they get older? Like a certain food they can eat or not eat, drink more water or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, we generally say that you need to just be active. Sitting at home doing nothing is not going to help you for your health in general anyway. But, get your adequate amount of sleep, exercise, do things that it's going to engage your mind. A lot of people do, take on what they call a brain diet, and it's very similar to a Mediterranean diet, which is rich in oils and fats and a lot of seafood. But really, generally, you just need to have a healthy lifestyle and just be engaged.
If someone, like in the family or a friend, they have Alzheimer's, and as you stated before, one of the things that comes along with that is forgetfulness, forgetting names and things like that. What can the caregiver or the daughter do to help them remember? Maybe help them remember names and faces and things like that.
Well, first and foremost, I would say do not argue with that person. If they're going to say the sky is green, I would say go along with that for right now. And then, you pick your battles. But then also to encourage them, you might want to do some Post-it notes or, make a list and have that available for them. Just kind of help be proactive in thinking, set out their clothes for them if they have a hard time picking out clothes or knowing what's next. A set schedule is really, really good for, individuals that have a hard time knowing what time it might be. But if you have a set, schedule in place, that's helpful.
Okay. And I want to talk about talk to the caregiver for a little bit with these next couple questions. What can be done for them? Because I know when as the caregiver, the burden is on you.
Right.
The hard part of it is on you. So what can they do for themselves to help them through helping a family member or a friend that's suffering with Alzheimer's?
They need to know that they don't need to be, scared to ask for help because that is what they're going to need to get through this, this long, difficult time with their loved one. So if that means you need to have someone come into the home and, so you can leave for a couple of hours, there's different respite programs here in our area where you can have your loved one attend for a few hours, and there's activities that they can do while you get a break. But you really do need to take care of yourself, and that way you can help take care of your loved one.
Can you explain to us what is caregiver guilt?
Right. That's just a feeling that you might get. You want to go to attend a birthday party, but then you're like, oh no, but I'm going to feel guilty that I'm happy right now, and my loved one is at home, and I'm not there at their every need. But I always would want to think, what would my mom want me to do? Would she want me to be happy, or does she want me to be sad? I would think she'd want me to be happy. And so if that means attending a birthday party or going on vacation, you really got to do that.
Oh, yeah. Is there something that can prevent caregiver guilt, or is it just the human side of us?
I think it's just the makeup of ourself and our emotions, yeah.
Should people feel bad? Should the caregiver feel bad about the caregiver guilt? Should they feel bad about that? Like, you feel guilty because you want to go to the birthday party. Then you feel bad because you feel guilty. That I feel like it's just so many layers to it.
Yeah. I don't think you should feel bad. Like I said again, what would your loved one would say if they were, they didn't have this disease? They would be happy for you if you went and attended a birthday party or go on a trip. So yeah, but it's hard. Yeah.
What would you say is your personal intention with working with Alzheimer's?
Yeah. So I guess my goal is to help people talk about it and get in the community and let them know what resources we have here at the association, and that we're here for them. We can help them find a way to navigate through their situations, and just help people know that, what we can do for them.
And I'll make sure and have the 1-800 number, the website, all of the information. So if you want to reach out, if you need to call that toll-free number, then I'll have that information made available for you. What are some specific things that my audience and my viewers can do to help you with the fight with Alzheimer's?
Well, first, they can get involved with a walk, register for the walk, and walk with us on our walk day. People can volunteer for the walk. They can join our walk committee. We plan, several months in advance. We get sponsors. We plan for our logistics part of it, setting up. We get up bright and early that morning and get all the tents set up and our signs out. So it's a lot of fun. If you know of someone or organization that would like some education, please let us know, and we can match up one of our community educators. We have several here in our area that are volunteers that are trained to give these educational programs to the public. So if they would want to get involved, they let us know, and there's different volunteer opportunities that they can go to our website and check it out. Also want to add that our national website, alz.org, has a plethora of information about the disease for caregivers, for volunteers, all the information about the new drug treatments, and also what they can do to get involved.
If someone, their mom, their dad, grandpa, is kind of showing signs of forgetfulness, most people, I feel like, would be like, oh, well, they're just getting older.
Right,
No,
right.
we're going to ignore that. We're not going to do anything. When should you say, okay, something is wrong here, I probably need to bring you to a doctor?
Yeah, I think if you see it being repetitive, they're repeating themselves or misplacing things over and over. If you're suspicious, I think you need to see a doctor sooner rather than later.
Do you think in our lifetime that there will be a cure for Alzheimer's?
I think so. I hope so. Yes. We've seen advancement just recently in our treatments, and things are moving in the right direction. There's trials that are going on every day that people can participate in, and even if the trial is not successful, they're going to learn something from it. So, that's my hope, is that we do see some, I'd want that for our children.
Yes, absolutely. If left untreated, what happens to a person that's affected with Alzheimer's?
I really don't know. I would think that it would just really deteriorate. Your brain's going to shrink and deteriorate, and most people don't die from that disease. It could be a complication from Alzheimer's disease. So.
What would, and we're getting ready to end the podcast, but what advice would you like to give, and this is a two-part question, to a person that's suffering with Alzheimer's, and then to the caregiver?
Yeah. I would just say you're not alone. There's so many people out there that are doing the same thing that you are doing. We have resources here, not on our website or here in our office. If they need anything, they can call our local number, or like I said, our care and support line, to get some information, get some help. But don't just sit at home and think that no one's there to help you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Shanna, for
you're
being on the podcast and educating us all about Alzheimer's. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for letting me speak with you. It really means a lot.
Thank you. So my final question is, who do you think would make a great guest on the podcast, but you have to help me get them on?
Okay. I do have somebody for you.
Yay!
And it's my CrossFit instructor.
Okay.
Her name's Erica Faust.
And you look amazing.
Well, thank you. I've been doing CrossFit for about 6 years. And I've even had a knee replacement. And I feel like, CrossFit's people kind of like think, oh my gosh, it's, you know, that's something hard to do and not
Right.
everybody can do it. But no, that is not so. I mean, it's for all age groups. There's modifications in every workout that you do. It's a great, 1 hour workout where you don't have to bring anything. Everything's right there. There's an instructor that's going to instruct you and help you be safe in what you're doing. So I really truly believe that we all need to move our bodies and to stay fit and strong so we can live longer.
Absolutely. And I know that's one of the things you said that we could be doing now to help prevent or delay Alzheimer's. So this is going to be perfect. It goes hand in hand.
Yes,
It goes hand in hand. So I look forward to speaking with her. And again, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And thank you so much for watching and tuning in. You can get this podcast and all of my other podcasts on YouTube Podcasts and Apple Podcasts. And remember, you always have time to listen and learn on the go.
Buckle up, enjoy the ride.